Good evening. I was asked by a follower to make a YA thriller recommendations video, or I guess she just asked for YA thriller recommendations, and I thought I would make a video of it. So I posted on Instagram asking for some recommendations from some friends and followers, and I have 11 recommendations for you all. And what I'm going to do is go through the Goodreads of all of these, and I'm just going to list the name of the book or the series and the author, and then maybe give a little blurb about all of them. So we're just going to kind of go right into it. The first recommendation I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and this is a series of 3 books, so it's a trilogy, and then there is a 0.5 is how it's listed on Goodreads, which I think is just like a prequel. So the first book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm pretty sure that they made a Netflix series out of this. But anyway, so a little snippet is everyone in Fairview knows the story. Pretty and popular. High school senior Andy Bell was murdered by her boyfriend Sal Sine, who then killed himself. It was all anyone could talk about, and 5 years later, Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her town. So, that's the first book series to recommend. The next one is an author specifically recommended was Kate Alice Marshall's YA books. I did find a series called the 13s series, and that is, again, another trilogy. The synopsis, the quick little synopsis for this is a sleepy town with a dark secret, and the 3 kids brave it enough to uncover it. 12-year-old Eleanor has just moved to Eden Eld to live with her aunt and uncle after her mother was killed by a fire. Her birthday, which falls on Halloween, is just around the corner, and she hopes this year will be a fresh start at a new life. But then one morning, an ancient grandfather clock counting down 13 hours appears outside her bedroom, and then spots a large black dog with glowing red eyes prowling the grounds of her school. A book of fairy tales she's never heard of almost willingly drops in front of her, as if asking to be read. Something is wrong in the town of Eden Eld. That sounds really cool to me, actually, so might have to add that to my own TBR. The next recommendation is, let's go to the top, the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. That is 4 books and a sequel. The first book is called The Raven Boys. It is freezing in the churchyard even before the dead arrive. Every year, Blue Sergeant stands next to her clairvoyant mother as the soon-to-be dead walk past. Blue herself has never seen them, not until this year when a boy emerges from the dark and speaks directly to her. That's all I'm going to read, actually, because I don't want to spoil anything. And I'm actually going to add that to my TBR as well. I personally have not read a lot of YA thrillery books, so that's why I reached out to Instagram followers for help, and I'm actually like really impressed with this list that I was given for my questions box, so this is really exciting. The next is the Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky. This appears to be a standalone, and the little blurb: new girl Rachel Chavez is eager to make a fresh start at Manchester Prep, but as one of the few scholarship kids, Rachel struggles to fit in. And when she gets caught up in a prank gone awry, she ends up with more enemies than friends. To her surprise, however, the prank attack attracts the attention of the Mary Shelley Club, a secret club of students with one objective: come up with the scariest prank to orchestrate real fear. As the prank escalates, the competition turns cutthroat and takes on a life of its own. When the tables are turned and someone targets the club itself, Rachel must track down the real-life monster in their midst, even if it means finally confronting the dark secrets from her past. Okay, adding that to the TBR as well. Wow, you guys, to all the friends and followers who submitted these 11 book series author standalone recommendations, y'all are killing it. All right, number 5 is, again, another series. Looks like it has 5 primary works, 9 total works, and that is the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I feel like this one is super popular. I recognize that cover and the ones in the rest of the series. So, Goodreads Choice Award nominee for Favorite Young Adult Fiction from 2020. Avery Grams has a plan for a better future, survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her fortunes change in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves Avery virtually his entire fortune. The catch, Avery has no idea why or even who Tobias Hawthorne is. To receive her inheritance, Avery must move into a sprawling, secret passage-filled Hawthorne house where every room bears the old man's touch, his love of puzzles, riddles, and codes. Okay, that's all I'm going to go with that too. Adding that to TBR. All right, number 6 is the Truly Devious series, and this is by Maureen Johnson. 6 primary works, 9 total works, so it looks like... Oh, the 9 total works, 3 of them are like box sets, so looks like 5 published books, and there is a book 6 confirmed by Maureen called Untitled right now, and there's no cover art, so to be continued. Book number 1, Truly Devious. Ellingham Academy is a famous private school in Vermont for the brightest thinkers, inventors, and artists. It was founded by Albert Ellingham, an early 20th century tycoon who wants to make his wonderful place full of riddles, twisting pathways, and garden a place, he said, where learning is a game. Shortly after the school was opened, his wife and daughter were kidnapped. The only real clue was a mocking riddle listing methods of murder signed with the frightening pseudonym Truly Devious. It became one of the greatest unsolved crimes of American history. And that's a currently 5, almost 6 book series. So these are amazing. Okay, the 7th recommendation is the 7th recommendation was any Karen McManus book. She is a New York Times and international best-selling author of young adult thrillers. So she's got a series called One of Us is Lying. Looks like there's 3 books in that trilogy there. One called Two Can Keep a Secret, The Cousins, You'll Be the Death of Me, Nothing More to Tell, Such Charming Liars. But then the trilogy she has is called One of Us is Lying, and that is also the title of the first book. Pay close attention and you might solve this. On a Monday afternoon, 5 students at Bayview High walk into detention. Bronwyn, the brain, a Yale-bound and never breaks a rule. Addie, the beauty, the picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, already on probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, the all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of Bayview's notorious gossip app. Okay, looks like someone dies in detention. Dun dun dun. All right. That's pretty neat. I'm adding that. Next is recommendation number 8, and that is the Codenamed Conspiracy series by Chris Rhinelander. Another trilogy. Seventh grader Carson Fender finds out there's more to his sleepy North Dakota hometown than meets the eye in this hilarious mashup of middle school story and spy adventure novel from the author of Fourth Stall. There are places in the world where heroes are born. There are places where brave men and women fight a never-ending battle against evil in order to keep our country and all other countries safe. There are places where the fate of our planet is being decided even now as we speak, and the consequences of which will echo through history. None of these places are in North Dakota. Okay, this sounds like a hilarious YA, like, comedy thriller. Recommendation number 9 is a standalone, and that is After Dark with Roxy Clark by Brooke Lauren Davis. Roxy Clark has seen more dead bodies than your average 17-year-old. As a member of the supposedly cursed Clark family, most of her ancestors have met tragic ends, including her own mother. Instead of fearing the curse, however, Roxy has combined her flair in performance and her gruesome family history into a successful ghost tour, but her tour never covers the most recent body she's seen: her sister Skylar's boyfriend, Colin Riley, found murdered in a cornfield. And the cover of this one is stunning. Okay, recommendation number 10 is the Murder by the Month rom-com mystery series. These are by Jess Lowry. There are 12 in this series, each one for the month. The first one actually starts in May and then goes to June, July, August, yada yada, and then we get to December, and then it starts over with book 9 being January, book 10 February, 11 is March, and then 12 is April. So maybe since it's April, I'll read the April Fool's one. Librarian and aspiring private investigator Mira James has discovered she's one corpse a month for each of the 11 months she's lived in Battle Lake, Minnesota. She'd give her left foot to break that streak this April, but when she stumbles across a disturbing note, a Battle Lake girl vanishes. She has no choice but to get involved. There's more to it, obviously, but I'm not going to read any more to spoil it. But I love anything by Jess Lowry. I have not read any of these, which is kind of a bummer, but they have just hilarious titles. So like Mayday, Junebug, Knee High by the 4th of July, August Moon, September Morn, October Fest, November Hunt, December Dread, January Thaw, February Fever, March of Crime, and then April Fools. So these, I want to say, are maybe less like YA and a little more like new adult. And then obviously a lot of people who are adults read them too. Jess Lowry is a phenomenal author, and she's local-ish to me. She's from Minnesota, so I think that's really cool too. And then the last is the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who also wrote The Inheritance Games, which was recommendation number 5. So that's kind of fun. So the Naturals series has 4 books, 4 books, and then a sequel. So I'm going to read for book 1, The Naturals. 17-year-old Cassie is a natural at reading people, piecing together the tiniest details. She can tell you what you are and what you want, but it's not a skill she's ever taken seriously. That is until the FBI come knocking. They've begun a classified program that uses exceptional teenagers to crack infamous cold cases, and they need Cassie. So, those are my recommendations for you all. I hope you're able to share this with a young adult thriller lover in your life. Please let me know if you have other recommendations. You can leave those in the comments. If you've made it this far, I would greatly appreciate any more that we can add to this list, because this is 11 recommendations and so many books beyond that, because there's a lot of series in here. Couple standalones that sound really amazing, and I hope you guys get some recommendations for yourself and can share for others. Bye.